Hi, I'm Erin Rose Widener, and welcome to Hollywood Defined. This week, we'll look at the role of an executive producer. Like with any producer role, the responsibilities are varied depending on the project. Some producers find the money, while others take a more hands-on approach. To clarify this role even more, here's Moviola's exclusive visual glossary of terms.
An executive producer assists in the creation and funding of film and television projects. In film, an executive producer sources and manages a large portion of the finances and facilitates communication between the line producer and the various production companies involved in the creation of the film. In television, an executive producer supervises the creative content and financial aspects of a show.
We sat down with Arnold Shapiro, executive producer and creator of the Oscar-winning documentary Scared Straight. Arnold told us about how he got 3 networks to simultaneously air another one of his projects, Scared Silent.
I had a funder and he wanted to do something on child abuse, so I thought, nobody wants to hear about child abuse. If you're an abuser, you're in denial, you're not going to watch. If you're a victim, it's too painful. And if it hasn't touched your life, it's one of those things you don't want to hear about. So after thinking about it for a month, I was really getting close to calling him and saying, this is unique in my life. You're offering me the funding to do something I can't do because nobody's going to watch it. I said, I know what I'll do. I'll just get it on every network simultaneously, and that way people have to watch it. The only time that what they call roadblocking is on is when the president makes a speech, when there's a national disaster and everybody's covering it.
Right.
It hadn't been done. I did it. So it aired simultaneously on 3 networks. To this day, it's the highest rated non-news documentary special ever to air on national television.
The executive producer makes critical decisions on what is included and not included in a program. Arnold has an interesting perspective from shooting the Scared Straight documentaries.
Sometimes you can have a piece of tape or film that is so dynamic or so potentially award-winning or whatever, and there are producers who will use it.
Right.
And then there are some of us who weigh it all and decide not to. We have ethical discussions in every screening. There's always something that comes up where we say, it'd probably be best not to show this, even though it would make the program better. Scared Straight 20 years later. In 1999. One of the former inmates, he had been convicted of first-degree murder, and we always put on the screen what they were sentenced to. And he said, they don't know here that that's what I served my time for. They thought it was for some lesser crime that didn't involve violence. If you put that on, I'm going to lose my job. And he said, please don't do that. Well, that's what he was charged with. And in the original film, we said it, but we weren't using that portion. And I made the decision to go with what he wanted because why should he lose his job? He agreed to do this. He didn't have to agree to participate. Now I'll give you the opposite example. And where I regret something I did. It was in the original Scared Straight, where, as I said, we had 2 cameras. One of the girls, who was 14 at the time, had made a movement with her arm or something, and they told her to leave the stage. And she broke into tears. All the pressure of being up there where you can't move and can't talk, and you're scared and all that. And the cameraman was prepared to break a camera and show her off stage sobbing. I said, don't do it. I said, just let her have her moment. We had permission to film whatever was going to happen, and that's what happened. Right. And I missed a good, powerful, emotional moment, which showed how effective this program was.
In 1972, George Carlin introduced the world to the 7 words you can never say on television. The words are and. Oddly enough, the words were not part of any official list, but their popularity started the movement of establishing the indecency regulations in American broadcasting. Thanks, George. The title, executive producer, comes with a lot of responsibility, and Arnold just showed us 2 great examples. For more of his interview, more visual glossary of terms, and a host of other learning tools, check out the other parts of Moviola.com or download the app for your iPhone and iPad. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week when we define another Hollywood role.